In this lesson, we'll continue to add the fillet details to the model. So for now, let me turn off the main body and we'll concentrate on putting this fillet all around the main bezel here. So remember, I don't have to just choose my fillet edge from here. I can go up to my solid menu and choose fillet edge and choose it right from there. As I said, we're going to use a 0.2 for the main body fillets. Type in 0.2 and hit enter. Then I'll select chain edges from the command line. Just click on this edge, goes all the way around and draws the whole thing for me. I'm especially concerned about this area and maybe even up here a little bit as we transition across this very small surface. So I'll hit enter and then enter again. Wait a moment for it to draw my preview because I do have preview set to yes. And let me just zoom in and make sure nothing strange is going on there. I think that looks like it's working and that looks like it's working. Hit enter. And as you can see, it ended up not liking that, so it didn't work. Let me just undo that, and we'll reapply it again. Over here, I'll select fillet edge. Choose previous selection this time, and it knows what was selected last time. And let me try a 0.15 and see if we can get that to work. All right, and I think that'll work. Let me hit enter, and we'll see what we get. Yep, and that worked for us that time. So while I have the main body hidden, I'm actually going to go ahead and put the fillets on these buttons. And I think I'm going to try and use the 0.2 on the buttons if I can get that to work. So edge to fillet. Let me make that 0.2 by typing 0.2 and enter. Chain edges. Select that one. Hit enter. Chain edges again. Then that one. Select enter. Chain edges. Enter. And then this one. I needed to chain edges because this surface is split, so it would not have picked all the way across here. There's only a couple of pieces, so it would have been easy for me to select each individual piece, but by selecting chain edges, that way I'm sure I'm getting everything. And 0.2 is working there, it looks like. So I'll switch 4 buttons off and face bezel off, and I'll bring back the main body. Let's choose solid, fillet edge, chain edges, and let's see if we can get 0.2 to work around the outside here. And we'll try and get everything to go all at once. I've accidentally started the command when I really wanted to finish selecting all of these. While I'm still in the command, I can go up here and choose select edges. I can use my chain edges command, choose that one, and chain edges, and choose that one. We'll hit enter, and that was able to apply to that one. So sometimes you just get a fillet that's just not going to cooperate. There's no real reason why this fillet wouldn't work at a 0.2 other than these corners are inside corners where these are outside corners. So that must have made all the difference to it for some reason. So we're getting there now. Let me do my Control-Alt-R for my render mode. You can see we've added a lot of nice detail. I'm bringing my 4 buttons. I do think I want to bring these buttons out just a little bit, so I'll select all 4 of those. And again, notice my gumball is facing in, so if I click on the green arrow, and I'm just going to bring those out a negative 0.2, I think. Just want to pop them just a little bit to break that surface. Do Control-Alt-S to go back to my shaded mode. And now we're just going to add a few bezels here. Now I don't want a bezel between the LCD and the LCD bezel. I want this to, when it's rendered, look like one big piece of glass with just an image on the screen. But I am going to put a bezel here and here. So let's go up to our solid menu and we'll choose fillet edge and we'll try and get 0.2 to work. So I'll chain edges. I want to choose the orange or the face bezel edges. And notice it's going to make me choose all the way around here, and that's fine. A little bit annoying, but not a big deal. Select chain edges again. Notice it does take a little bit of time and it can be kind of annoying. I'll hit enter to apply that. And no, sure enough, it didn't like that one. So it seems like 0.2 is going to work on an inner bezel, but not on an outer bezel. So actually, I'll kind of make that work for me. Under my select menu, I'm actually going to select last created objects. So it's going to select everything that changed. I can control click on the orange bezel, and then it's going to select what's left over of my fillet that didn't work. And I can just delete that. I'll hide the orange bezel, and let me hide my Bez 2 for the moment. So I'm just going to concentrate on putting a bezel on this Bez 1. And we'll make that 0.15. Chain edges. 0.15 here and chain edges. Nope, I can't get that to work. All right, so we've applied the fillet edge. And if I zoom in here, you'll notice that it doesn't like that one either. So I've experimented with this a few times, and I found that for whatever reason, it doesn't like this at all. So it's just not going to work. So what we're going to do is undo this, and we're going to end up doing a pipe. But instead of going around and selecting all of these different edges, what I'm going to do is right-click on my explode icon, grab these faces. I've extracted those faces. I'll join them together. Then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to choose a duplicate border command. Now I made a curve out of the borders of that face. So I have two circles, essentially. Then I'm just going to pipe this. So I'll do a pipe, and we'll try a 0.2 on this and see if we can get it to work. And that pipe looks okay. Apply the pipe command again. Again, a 0.2, and that seems like that worked. I'm going to join this back to this. And then we're going to take that shape, and we're actually just going to split it using the pipes. I'll split it with that pipe. Let me throw away my pipes. Then we have that object there. We can delete that. And this edge there, we'll delete that. I'll just go ahead and hide these curves. There we go. And we're just going to use our blend command on these. So we'll just do a surface blend. Make sure auto chain is on. Choose there, hit enter. I'll switch on preview. And that all looks pretty good. So I'll just hit OK on that. I'll apply the same command again. First edge, enter. Second edge, enter. And that all looks good. And now we just join these together. I'm going to select the red portion first. That way when it all joins together, it stays on the original layer that I want it to. So now you can see those ended up looking quite nice. Let's go ahead and we'll switch off Bez 1. And we'll switch on Bez 2. And let's just see if we can get the fillet edge to work on that. It'll be a little quicker if we can. Let's try a 0.2. Chain edges. Nope, and it doesn't like that either. So this time I'm going to go through and just select the edges and show you kind of the difference there. Remember last time I was able to do a duplicate border because I extracted the front face. This time I'm just going around and clicking on all the edges, making a circle that way. Duplicated it, joined it together. I read my command line. It tells me it's closed. Then I can pipe this. 0.2 should work. That looks good. I'll select split. This is my object to split. This is my cutting object. Zoom in here, delete that, and then this curve I'll just hide in case I need it later. And we'll just do a surface blend. Enter for the first one. Then I'll select second edge. It knows those are closed, so it's giving me a seam point to adjust. Those look like those line up nicely, so I can just hit enter. And I know this is going to line up all nicely for me. It's just like the other one, so I can hit OK again on that. Join it together. Remember, select the part that's on the layer you want this thing to stay on when it's all joined together. And let's just turn this all back on and see what we have here. Let me bring in my antenna and my volume knobs too. All right, so let's Control-Alt-R for shaded mode. And there you go. So now we have all of our fillets applied. And remember, we didn't put a fillet in here because we want this to appear as one big piece of glass with just an LCD in it when we render it. And that looks pretty good. Looks like we're just needing the speaker grill details now. So that concludes this look at adding details with the fillet edge command.